Today's episode is sponsored by Experience Butler County, Pennsylvania. Journey through charming towns and explore quirky places. Go to www.experiencebutler.com for more. As part of our America 250 series, we're exploring what makes Butler County unique through the themes of live, work, and play, and serve. And today, we're focusing on play. Not just recreation, but the experiences, traditions, and destinations that bring people together and help tell the stories of a community. I'm joined by Amy Pack from Experience Butler County. We're beginning our conversation in Harmony, one of the county's most historic communities, surrounded by buildings, streets, and stories that have endured for generations. We'll talk about the history of Harmony, the evolution of tourism in Butler County, Jeep Fest, and the worldwide phenomenon of Jeep ducking, and why people continue to be drawn to this corner of Western Pennsylvania. Let's take a walk through history and discover what makes Butler County a place people love to visit, and a place many people are proud to call home. Well, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, it's nice to meet you in person. I know
Very
I've
nice to
seen
meet
you out at events.
Yes.
I don't know if we ever
Likewise.
were
I think so.
officially, yeah. I don't know if we were ever officially introduced, but here we are. You are, well, you're the, is it the commissioner of America 250 or the advisor?
County advisor
County advisor.
of the America 250, PA Butler.
And then you're with Experience Butler County.
I am, yes.
Which was rebranded, how long ago was it? That
About a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Yes.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? When I was talking to Mark Gordon yesterday, and we were talking about the Bantam Jeep Festival and all that, and like there's so many people that are involved in that, and how word of mouth gets, how far it travels, that people know about the Tourism Bureau, they know about, Butler County, Experience Butler County, and it just, I don't know, like, does that ever blow your mind, like how many people know about Butler County and come here?
It does. We have something special here. And we do go out on a national level to talk about Butler County and bring different things in so that transient traveler, also the leisure traveler, they hear about that as well because they may be a tournament director or a conventioneer, but they hear about what they want to do with their own personal time too. And there's really just such a great mix in Butler County. There's a little something for everyone.
Yeah.
So I always say it's so diverse that there's international corporate headquarters and the brand stores and hotels and everything that you like to see and are convenient for travelers. And then there's those unique experiences with the vacation rentals and the B&Bs and the great outdoors. And there's great history and art. We really do have it all, and we have to remind ourselves we have it all.
We do, and that's part of why we have those loud trucks around here. I'm sure that was picking up. That's part of why we're having this conversation. If I can keep my phone alive, you know how the phone just like shuts off on you, so that'll be a fun. What do you think makes people fall in love with a place?
Well, yeah, and that's why we went to Experience Butler County, because it really was about why they come here, the memories they make, why they return, and it is, those special small towns. We're sitting in one right now in Harmony, PA, that has that great mix of history and great restaurants and coffee shops and wineries and distilleries, but the history is there as the base of of interest that brings people here, and you get. It's a strollable town. You can spend hours walking up and down the street to experience all the little things that there are, whether it's antique stores to a great coffee shop or a unique bakery. There's something special in each small town, and I think that is really a big part of our success, are all these little destinations within the destination.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say the walkability of coming here, and everyone loves that. It's not just the younger generation or the older generation. Everyone loves walking around and just seeing history, but also being able to come to the Harmony Inn and have brunch on a Sunday, or walk over to Neff House and have ice cream, or even go down here and get one of those pretzels. Have you been to that bakery?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
Yeah, generations of recipes
yes.
there. So there really is some very, very cool things to experience. And I think that's what's so important about these small towns like Zelienople. They get that right business mix that people like a whole family can experience. There's a Lego store, there's an amazing shoe store, there's, you know, an old deli or, you know, family generational deli there as well. But great restaurants, wineries. There really is that nice mix that everyone can find something that's fun and entertaining for them.
Yeah, and this little area is so unique because you can walk from Harmony into Zelienople.
Right.
It's really accessible that way, and this just has a lot of old world charm. So, because we're in Harmony right now, what would you hope that with someone visiting here maybe for the first time that they would notice first? Well,
hopefully they notice the history first. That's really what put them on the map for us as a destination. So to experience some of these buildings that have been here for so long and the history behind them and the whole story of Harmony, and then the blend of today's world in there, really that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
But the festivals and things like that come to town, and events, even races, all that just broadens the scope of people getting a little sampling of this area to come back another day. So I think that those kind of things are really important.
And I know we were coming here because you mentioned the Washington Trail.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about that a little bit? Does that
Certainly.
come through this area?
It does, and there's a visitor center right at the top of, as you come into Harmony, that has some wonderful artifacts and the story of George Washington and the Washington Trail 1753 and his journey through Butler County.
That's so cool.
Yes.
It's just kind of weird of you. Like, he was really a person. Like, he came through. You know what I mean? Like, when you read stuff sometimes, and pardon my interruption, but when you read something in a history book, sometimes these stories, you're like, what? They traveled how far? Like,
on foot.
On foot. Yeah, it kind of blows your mind. But anyways, continue. You're talking
so
about
that's part of the rich history in that area, too. A completely different history than the Harmonists. But the Washington's Trail goes through several counties, and it's really quite a story to tell. But, of course, very special things happened in Butler County that changed the course of history. So the visitor center is a must-do. You have to stop there. And that will be one of the stops during History Week, which is an America 250 event. And all those events will be listed on the America 250 PAButler.org site that shows you all things to self-guide that week and really take in Butler's rich history. And we're hoping it spurs people on for years to come, that they're reminded of all the special things that happened in this county.
Yeah. So obviously history can sometimes feel like something behind glass in a museum. This feels very alive, though. Harmony always has been very alive. So how do you, in your role and what you're doing, balance preserving history while also inviting people to make new memories?
Right. Well, I think the history is going to bring them in this year. Everybody wants to be and feel a part of America 250 because that is really a special event. So we hope that really does spur them on to exploring the county, but then seeing all the things that we have to offer. So it really complements itself that the America 250 is self-guided so that they see these treasures along the way, and that's really a big part of what at Experience Butler County that we're trying to convey is there's experiences around every corner, and you kind of make your own memories and your own experience because there are so many things to see, and as you follow trails or follow a list of different events that are happening, you really get to take in more than you would if you came for one singular event. You really are, getting with one every corner of the county explored that week.
Yeah. So. Well, a hard question then, coming off of that. If you had one afternoon to take someone anywhere in the county that you were like, you absolutely, you can't leave without seeing this. If you had to, and I know that's a hard question to ask.
Right.
Because everything you just said, I know. I'm like, oh, my next question is a pretty hard one. And it doesn't have to be, obviously we're in Harmony. We don't want to just stick to Harmony, but I don't know.
Well, I always say picking a favorite spot is like picking a favorite kid. I can't do that, but, the history of the Jeep is very important to us. It is a legacy that we need to protect. So we do have the Butler-built garage down at the Curvin building across from Butler High School. There's the Jeep Monument in downtown Butler as well. But to hear and know that story is super important and its significance, and it's really something anybody can connect to.
Yeah.
They all know how special the Jeep is, and Jeep enthusiasts, we all saw them come in droves this past weekend. And that is very cool to see all the generations. But started the Jeep and the Bantam building, especially this year losing the building.
Yeah.
It's that much more important to continue that story and make sure people realize how important manufacturing is to Butler County. So the Jeep is certainly an icon for that. But manufacturing is huge for us here, and that's another reason for our success in this county.
And we'll be going there today. So you are
Yes.
taking us for not really an afternoon, but that's the one thing we are going to do today.
Right.
And I'm excited.
Right.
I've never been there. Obviously familiar with the Bantam Jeep, and it's funny, I've lived all over the country, and everywhere I live, Jeeps are everywhere.
Right.
And people are always blown away when I'm like, oh, where I grew up, that's where the Jeep came from. They're like, oh, what do you mean? No, it didn't. I'm like, it did. That's where it originated.
That's
And
right.
that's, I don't know, it gives you a lot of
very
pride.
special.
Yes,
Yes.
very special, of course.
Absolutely.
All right, so at first glance, people might think tourism is just marketing, but it's really storytelling. I mean, that's what you do. You're storytelling, and I
Yes.
follow your social media, and you do a really wonderful job of that, of telling the
Right.
story. When did you realize that was your role? You were in the hotel management
Yes. Yeah.
industry.
Over 25 years in hotels.
Yeah.
I did work at the Heinz History Center for a number of years as well, and tourism-related things. But the primary focus of my career was in hotels. And I came to experience Butler, and then it was the Butler County Tourism and Convention Bureau. I first was a board member representing all the lodging, and then came on as a staff person in tourism development. So 14 years later, I'm the president of the organization, and I love every minute of it. But I really felt that all my experiences led to being here.
Yeah.
Because, part of my experience touched almost every part of tourism. And I was just at a different angle from it.
Yeah.
But it certainly prepared me for where I am now. And the location, Butler County, is so incredible in that we have so much to offer. It really was a fortunate turn of events that got me to where I am.
Yeah,
So.
I love that. A lot of people say that too, that I've interviewed or met, through the course of this podcast. And how did you end up in your role? And sometimes it's like, it just kind of happened. Like, here was this job, and I got into it, and I love what I'm doing. And I always feel like people do end up where they're meant to be.
Right. Right.
And I very much get that from you. Okay, so how has your definition of a successful destination changed since you started this work? Or has it changed?
Well, you mentioned tourism. When people don't quite understand what that is, they think Disney and, those kind of major attractions.
Yeah.
And although it's great to have one thing that defines you, I think it's much more special to have so many things that define our success here. And it's the story of manufacturing, it's the history, it's things like the namesake of being the birthplace of the Jeep. But we have incredible companies doing incredible work here too, and some of those are kind of unknown to people. But I think it all leads to our success and it being a really great place to live. We always say to live, work, and play.
Yes.
But it truly is that very definition, because there is so much. There's the great outdoors. We have it, to such a large extent. So many beautiful things to explore that way.
Yeah.
And, great dining, shopping. We
Really good dining.
Yes.
When I moved back, when I first moved back, I was just looking for a job, and my cousin told me, she's like, oh, go to Delaware in Zelienople. I was like, Zelienople? Sorry that was my reaction. I hadn't lived here in decades, and I was like, really? I thought I'm probably going to go to Cranberry or Pittsburgh. And she's like, no. You have to go to this place in Zelienople. It's amazing. And I walked in and first of all, I got to Zelienople. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot happening
bustling.
here. It's bustling. I love that. It's totally bustling. And then I walked into the restaurant. I was like, done. I want to work here. And even I love coming here.
Right.
I also love the history of this building, and there's ghosts and and it's haunted, and I just think it's so amazing that we've preserved buildings like this, because that's important.
Really.
Obviously, that's part of any town's history, but I love how we do make a point to preserve the Penn Theater being restored and preserved.
Right.
That was a big deal, being a part of that. When Marina and Brian Frenchek received the Community Champion Award, I was there for that, and it was one of the first things I attended in this role. And I was like, thank goodness somebody saved that building, because every time I would come home, I was terrified it was going to be torn down in some basic, and no offense, but it just takes away from the ambiance of a town that's gone through a lot, right?
Right.
And persevered.
It sure has.
Any misconceptions about Butler County that you love proving wrong?
I think sometimes people think it's a suburb of Pittsburgh, and I tend to look at it more like we're Pittsburgh's backyard. This is where you come to play.
I love that.
But we hold our own in terms of very interesting events. Again, so much to explore and see. We're not a suburb of anything. We are our own thing, and we do it quite well. And the people are special here.
Yeah.
It's a very friendly atmosphere on every corner, and I've been to every corner. Sometimes in the same week, I'm in every corner of the county, and
I'm sure
people are wonderful, and that's part of our story as well.
Yeah, and kind of jumping back on the, that tourism isn't really about places, it's about feelings, I think. So what feeling do you hope that people leave here with? Like people who left after the Bantam Jeep Festival, what do you, maybe for the first time?
Right.
What do you hope that someone leaves Butler County with? Feeling?
I want to come back and see more.
Yeah.
I really want, because there is so much more to do. And sometimes those Jeeps take those off-road trips, scavenger hunts, and those are gold to us because they get another sampling of something more. And even when people are here for the draft or the U.S. Open, they get to sample this area. So it is our time to shine. So we get them to the feeling of wanting more and to come back. So.
Yeah, and it's really special that we've had all of those events in recent time,
Right.
because how much that does for us.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
point of tourism is you want to support local businesses, family-owned businesses, people who've been here for generations,
Right.
and
Right.
supporting that. I wanted to jump to the Jeep Festival and talk a little bit about ducking,
Yes.
which is an act of kindness to make drivers
Right.
smile. And
Right.
it's one of the most recognizable things. A lot of people, you see Jeeps going down the street and you'll see them on their dashboard.
Right.
There was a guy, Dominic and I walked up to Main Street. We were trying to get the Jeeps coming in all at once, and they were a little delayed. And so, had to be at another event. I was like, oh man, I really want to see them all coming at once. But we saw quite a few that were there, and this one gentleman had, his complete dashboard, but then in the back he had these like hammocks that were hanging, and they were full of ducks. And I was like, that is so cool.
Right.
Took some pictures of them, but I don't know. Talk about the duck a little bit and what you know about that.
It's such a simple and pure gesture that was made to start the whole thing. Someone having a bad day, and I'm going to give these ducks out, and someone thought, very cool duck, and then the Duck Jeep came about, and it's still just that goodwill. I drive a Jeep, in honor of the birthplace of the Jeep, but probably once a month I find one on my handle of my, and it's just so fun, and it does make you smile.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's really human.
Yeah.
It's like connects
Yeah,
us. It's that
yeah.
human connection.
there's nothing more to it other than just to make someone's day. How simple and pure is that? So,
Do you think that maybe that's what draws people to get a Jeep, is not only just the element of being able to like take the top off in the
Right.
summertime and drive around, right? Obviously there's different types of Jeeps. So we got Wranglers and Cherokees
Right.
and all sorts of types of Jeeps. But I don't know, do you think that some people are maybe drawn to it because of that element of it? I don't know.
I think so. I think there's a camaraderie with Jeep owners. You
Yeah.
see they wave to each other on the streets. People in two other similar cars don't really
Yeah.
have that connection, but it's a lifestyle, I think, and it's they're enthusiasts.
Yeah.
And they enjoy seeing all kinds of Jeeps, but I just think they like to be part of that movement of appreciating someone else's enthusiasm for that car.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a special story from maybe when you got a duck and you just maybe really just needed that? That you would.
I think it always takes you by surprise. I have kind of a normal Jeep. It's not a real super fun one that the top comes off and everything, but for people to still see you're a Jeep person, and I hope that makes you smile. And that's all it does, is it makes you smile. And my family, we have a Wrangler, and my daughter drives it, and it's filled with ducks. And I always remind her, give them away as much as you get them, because that's part of the whole thing. And, she just absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you that, if it was sort of like you hold on to it for as long as you need, maybe get what you need from it, and then pass it on to someone else. I didn't know if that was a thing.
I think everybody's different. I know some people keep a collection of them in their car to give away, but others, might give away one of their favorites. Again, I think it's a mood builder. So if they think someone's going to really enjoy that, then they might give that one away, because there's so many themes to them all, too. It's very fun.
Yeah, and then just kind of wrapping up Jeep Fest a little bit here. Any special memories that people have left Jeep Fest with that maybe you've had feedback from that they're like really surprised by, or like thank you for that, or anything that people really recognize, like, wow, that was really cool, that was extra special, or felt extra special?
Well, I think that the Bantam Jeep Heritage group that puts this on, they make it special every year, and they change it a little every year to keep the same people coming back, that their experience can change a little bit and they have fun. I think that keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And but I think it's a tradition, that people want to come back for that.
Yeah.
So I think it, I'm always amazed every year. It's bigger and better. And
oh my gosh, yes.
So there's something to take from it every year. But my favorite part is going over 422 and seeing all these Jeeps going back and forth over to Cooper's Lake, or maybe they're staying in town with the Invasion on Friday. But
I love that it's called the Invasion. Yeah. Because truly, that's what it is. I had to pick my mother up Friday night. We had an event for Little Theater to go to. And as we were going, we went around Pullman, from Armco Credit Union, because I was like, we can't go through town. Right. Obviously, it was like, we're going to not go through town. But as we got to this light, there was literally a state trooper right there directing all these Jeeps. And we're just saying, she's like, the light's going to go, no, we got to wait for the Jeeps. The Jeeps have to get to town. That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to have a Jeep. And I'm kind of kicking myself now. When I got my car a few years ago, I didn't get a Jeep, but I'm thinking my next car maybe needs to be a Jeep, because I don't know, it just feels right.
They are fun.
Yeah,
they are fun.
Yeah. And we're going to head to the Butler. Is it the Butler Built Garage that we're heading to?
It is.
Okay,
the Butler Built Garage. It has the other vehicles that the reconnaissance Jeep is there, but then also the other vehicles that were built at the Bantam factory. So it really, and again, this year is so important to make sure that story is being told, and so we expanded some of the artifacts in there too. Kind of museum style, or like a carriage house kind of museum exhibit. But the gentlemen that maintain these cars are from the Old Stonehouse Car Company, or Car Club, and it's truly a labor of love. They take care of these cars and make sure they get to festivals and parades, and that they're seen, and they know everything about them, and how rich the history is behind it. So we're so fortunate to have them as partners with that, and to put these cars on display. Everybody gets to see them somewhere, sometime, but now it's once a month. The garage doors are open, and people can come see them, and usually somebody comes in with a story.
That's cool. And that's what I love.
Or an artifact, which is really neat.
I mean, cars do connect us, because there's stories behind cars, and I love hearing that. I remember growing up, my uncle, or my grandfather had a really, really old car, and it went to my uncle. And I don't know, every time I see that car, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so wild to think that this is what people rode around in, and how much we've evolved, obviously in technology. But just one last thing here, and then I'm thinking we can probably head. What do you hope that someone visiting Butler during America 250 leaves thinking about Butler County? And you've answered a lot about what you want people to leave Butler County with.
Sure.
But specifically for everything that's being put in, especially with Heritage Week, we have a silent film that's be playing at the...
Yes, awesome.
I was
with the steeples and stacks.
I was in that. I'm in that.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh, they asked me at the last minute, and I'm in a witch's coven. I'm in and I was like, what? And then they put all this... Because it's black and white, your makeup has to be a little crazier. So I was like a witch, so I'm very but we don't say anything. It was really fun to be a part of, so I'm excited to see it come to fruition.
Too.
But
me too.
There's a lot that's happening, a lot of work that's been put in. There's that dinner that's happening on Friday night on the 11th.
Yeah.
And that's is it 250 seats?
Yes, 250 seats total.
Total. And there's going to be music and wine and food, and there's all kinds of vendors coming. I can list those here in the the body of this, but I don't know what.
I think it's that's a very special event too, and I think that's good to note. Things don't end on the 4th of July. That one is a few weeks after, and the story continues. This is just reminding you of the story exists, and but this Steeples and Stacks is a heritage weekend, and it's from the churches and what manufacturing those people were drawn to, the type, whether it was metalworking or glassworking or steel. Seems to have an ethnic tie that it also ties into the churches. It ties into the whole fabric of the people, and then the arts are woven into that. So I'm looking forward to it as well. I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that it's it's past the 4th. It doesn't. Not everything needs to be on the 4th. There's wonderful events all leading up to the 4th and on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But the story continues, and there's a lot more to celebrate as we go through the year.
Yeah.
So
I do love the mindset of it continuing past the 4th of July, and that's it. Just makes sense, right? Why would we just be like, okay, done?
Right.
There's so much to tell, and I'm excited to attend a lot of those events. So. Yeah,
very much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I obviously have more questions for you, but some of them are more geared towards being over at the museum. And let's head there.
Now, I think since we spoke last, the one thing I know we're kind of, I don't know if we're still on.
That's okay. I can.
So we're moving our offices to downtown Butler.
Yes.
So if you want to talk about that, I'm happy to do
the
that.
T.W. Phillips building. Is
Right
it
next to the Penn Theater.
Yes,
Correct. On Main
yes.
Street. We want to invest in Main Street, but our main reason was to be central in the county. We serve the whole county and all the entities that make up tourism. So it really, as much as we love Zelienople,
And that house that
it's
you're
been
in
a wonderful.
is beautiful.
It is. It is.
Every time I drive past, I'm like, that's one of the houses you want to live in.
That's a very homey place to show up for work. I can tell you that. But we really need to be central and to be more involved, more visible, and kind of entrenched in things happening in the county. And we think that T.W. Phillips building is a very special place.
Yeah.
So we will be home to a very nice visitor center as well.
Are you going to be there before when are you supposed to be into that space by?
Actually, the next couple of weeks. So probably the first or second week of July.
Okay. Because I know that you were talking about that and how you really want to get in there. There's so much happening. We have the Italian festivals in August. There's always Foodie Fridays. Is it the first Friday of the month?
Yep, that'll be in our parking lot.
Yeah.
Well, and beyond.
Yeah. So every time there's one of those, I am out of town or I have something going on. I'm always like, oh my gosh, I have to get to that. So I'm hoping I can make it to one of those. But that'll be exciting because so many people are walking the streets during these events. And yeah, you made that point. There's a lot of events. I haven't been able to get to enough of the outer boroughs. I haven't been to Saxonburg enough.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on in Saxonburg. But even obviously Zelienople, they have on Thursdays, they have the open air markets on Thursdays. I know Harrisville, I know that they've had things. They have a
community days
coming up. Yeah, they have community days coming up. And yeah, there's just so many things, and I usually tend to see it. I mean, obviously I'm at the newspaper, so I know what's about to happen. But really trying to make sure that I am following Experience Butler County a little bit more to see up and coming things.
Great, thank you.
And Casey Houlihan is a good friend of mine, so we do a lot of theater together. And I always see her be bopping around and see her in photos and stuff. So I love that. I love that. She
does a fantastic job.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So,
and the work she does bringing influencers and content creators, they come in and they give their perspective of the experiences we want people to see. And that's gold. It's hard to replicate when someone else is saying, this is what I did while I was there.
Yeah.
There's no better testament to that. And she does a great job and finding different people that travel for different reasons. And so, yeah, we're very fortunate to have her.
Yeah.
One of the themes we've heard throughout this entire America 250 series is that history isn't confined to books or museums. Sometimes it's found in the things we preserve, restore, and continue to share with future generations. So, after our conversation in Harmony and the stories that helped shape Butler County, Amy and I are heading to Butler Built Garage in Butler, right across from the Butler Senior High School. Inside are vehicles that have appeared in parades, celebrations, and community events for decades. Rolling pieces of local history that continue to connect generations. And let me tell you, if you've never visited this place, the third Sunday of every month, 1 to 4, make it a priority. Let's continue the conversation and take a closer look at some of the vehicles that have helped tell Butler County's story.
We're here in my garage with all my cars. Just kidding. Thank you for laughing at me. It's so ridiculous. It really is. People who know me know. Tammy knows. Tammy knows. We're sitting here in I had the name of the garage sitting here.
Yes. Butler Built Garage?
Yes, the Butler Built Garage. Thank you. Well, that's why you're here, because you know what you're talking about. That's why I'm interviewing you. The Butler Built Garage here in Butler County, across from the Butler High School. I have never been here before. I keep going to these places, Amy, in Butler County, and I kick myself that I haven't been there before. So this is another kicking moment where I'm like, this is so cool. The third Sunday of every month, you can visit from 1 to 4 p.m. Mm-hmm. Is that a donation base, or is it just open?
It's free to the public.
Free to the
Certainly,
public.
donations are always welcome to the Butler Old Stonehouse Car Club, who maintains these vehicles. And like I said, it's a labor of love for them. They know everything about them and love taking care of them and love having them seen.
Yes.
So telling their
beautiful.
story.
The history behind these cars, I just can't even imagine what it must have been like in the early 1900s, especially with the what's the big one down there again? Husselton, yes, the Husselton, which I have a goal to have someone drive me around in that car and do an interview. So we're going to try to make that happen. He doesn't know yet, but hopefully we can make that happen. But obviously talking about more history and History Week that's coming up, July 29th to July 4th, or June 29th to July 4th is Experience Butler County's History Week, and here for America 250.
Actually, through the 5th. We have some events on Sunday the 5th as well.
Okay. So celebration of every corner of Butler County, right? That's what
we're hoping. We get all the stories out that week for people to experience.
So when you say that, what does that phrase mean to you? You know, it's obviously showcasing communities throughout Butler County, but what does that phrase specifically, every corner of Butler County, mean to you?
Well, the history is different wherever you are, and the historical societies will be on display with artifacts and stories of their area. Some are self-guided trails, like the Washington's Trail, 1753. You follow the signs, and you can follow the story of Washington's trip through Butler County and beyond. But it'll take all shapes and forms. So we're hoping for great music, reenactors, food, displays, and a lot of stories. And I'm sure people will bring their own stories along the way.
Of course. That's what's so exciting about events like this, too, is who's going to show up and what stories are they going to share. I often find this, when people think of American history, a lot of times they think Boston and they think Philadelphia, right? So talking again, what makes Butler County so uniquely American, and why does it deserve a place in the America 250 conversation? You've said a lot of this already, but let's get a little deeper there.
Well, you talk about the Roebling Wire Ridge story, Wire Rope story, and its connections to the Brooklyn Bridge and the incline, and certainly the town of Saxonburg and how it was built around that. That has impact far beyond this area, but it brings it back to where it started. So that's really exciting, and that is part of America's story. So it's not just a Pennsylvania thing, it's not just a Butler thing, it has wide range implications of that invention. To all the way to Germany, where that town is in a likeness of Mühlhausen, Germany. So we're excited to tell that story, and Harmony and Zelienople and Slippery Rock, Harrisville. Every town has a story, and those we want to explore and get those out there that week and have people explore them for years to come.
The Roebling Wire Rope is probably one of the most fascinating stories to me by far. I lived in New York City. I was just in New York last week. I went to the Brooklyn Bridge. I took a photo of his name as the engineer.
Right.
And yesterday, when I met with Mark Gordon, he informed me that apparently part of the way through the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge, he passed away unexpectedly, and then his wife finished what he started.
Emily Roebling.
Yes.
She was a powerhouse.
Yeah, powerhouse from Butler, so yeah.
There you go. And that's a story in itself. That was unheard of for a woman to take on something like that. But yeah, again, those stories will all surface that week and beyond. So we're very excited.
Yeah, and that was my next question, so we're going to skip past that one. So we talk about manufacturing has always been a part of Butler County's identity. Obviously, we just talked about Roebling wire, rope to steel, glass, and eventually Bantam Jeep.
Correct.
How do you see innovation as a thread that connects our past with our future? I asked him about that, like if you could look to Butler in 2050.
Right. I think we'll continue to advance along with manufacturing. There's several companies in Butler that are doing things for the space industry. Lasers and things like that being done here. Yes, absolutely. So manufacturing are our roots, but they're also, we've kept step along with all the technology and robotics and everything else. So I'm feeling we'll be right there along with the trends that are coming in, in the future.
Things that we never probably could have imagined,
right,
are possible, and they will be.
Right.
So we talked a little bit about Washington's Trail, and obviously that reminds us of a young George Washington.
Yep.
Speak, Laura. Obviously, you traveled through this region long before the Revolutionary War. So how does standing in those places change the way that people experience history?
I think it makes it come alive. I think they see, real time, they're touching the earth that person touched, and such a monumental thing that it was that he traveled through here. I just think that it helps them understand how rich the history is in this area, but also kind of step into the story. And I think that's important.
Yeah.
To understand the significance.
Absolutely. We talked also about steeples and stacks. So that's going to tell us more about the immigrants and how they built Butler County.
Right.
What can visitors learn about? We have Irish, German, Italian, and other community cultures who shaped our neighborhoods, but our churches and our businesses, and those traditions that we still enjoy today.
Right, right. And I think food is something that weaves through all of that, those wonderful dishes that we all know from growing up and the generations of our own family. But they have a story to tell, along with the food and the art and the manufacturing and the faith, the worship houses. Of all kinds. I think that really is intertwined into our history.
Yeah, pierogies. A lot of people come to this area and they don't know what pierogies are.
Right.
Which always blows my mind. And I think it's obviously like growing up here and saying pop.
Right.
We say pop. When you go to like Virginia Beach, they say, "Excuse me, what are you talking about?" I'm like, pop. And like the Pepsi, they're like, "Oh, you mean soda?" I'm like, "No, pop." So it's interesting. That always fascinated me as a young person when I first went on a school trip, and I was like, what is happening? Doesn't everyone say pop? So those things are interesting to me.
Even within our state, there's differences on what people call something. So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Okay, so favorite things about Butler County is, every small town, and you just said this, has a story waiting to be told, waiting to be heard. Right. Are there any hidden gems or lesser known sites during History Week that you hope people will discover for the first time?
I think there's going to be things I discover for the first time at that time too, but it's the stories within the stories. I think we're really going to hear, and each town's claim to fame and how they got started, and the people. It really is the people all through it. So
yeah, absolutely. So again, I talked about, museums. History's not just preserved in museums, although this is a remarkable museum. This is a museum. I love it.
It is, yes.
It's just, even seeing the photos from like the war, the original Bantam, and all the different nuances of it, and like how it changed, and knowing that they had to ship it overseas, and thinking of those sorts of things. So obviously it's preserved through families, recipes, we talked about that, architecture, talked about that a little bit, festivals, local traditions.
Right.
How does History Week encourage people to experience history rather than just simply read about it?
Right. Well, I think you live it when you especially come on site here and see these cars that were built in Butler. And we no longer have the factory, but we have what they produced. And you get a real sense of, we talk about the size of these cars and the uniqueness of them. Yeah. But You can read about that, but it is not the same as climbing inside, as you just did.
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, they're very cool and pretty advanced. We even have one that looks like a food truck. It's a popcorn truck that is kind of custom made from a Bantam. So it's exciting. I think it does help you understand the talent that was in this area producing.
And this
cars.
is definitely encouraging me to do a full episode just on these cars. And understanding, like, how did that come about? How did someone decide that they were going to make a popcorn car? And and who was it that got to drive it? And where I imagine that they were going to festivals, obviously,
Yes,
and
and
different
parades.
events and parades. But also, I imagine that would be really cool to drive-in movie.
Oh yeah,
To just drive around, although most drive-in movies do have their own popcorn, they have their own stands or whatever they're called. I always forget the food stand, whatever it's called. Yes.
food trucks.
It's food trucks, yes. So America 250 does ask us to reflect on where we've been, where we're going, who we are.
Right.
What do you hope that a child attending History Week this year remembers 20 years from now? Because that's huge if you think about it.
Right. And,
We do
I've talked
remember
to a lot
this.
of people that
Yeah.
were here for the 150th, and they remember Main Street, and, there was George and Martha Washington in a carriage, and talked to one gentleman, and his dad was the driver of the carriage, all in costume. So, and he was a child then. So you hope that they remember fondly of what we were celebrating here, and are willing to take that story with them and where the story goes. So I
Yeah,
think
that's really
exciting.
special. And I do love that about Butler. I notice a lot of families are always coming to these events and their children are being exposed to this. And, sometimes when you're a kid, it's simple, right? You just want to play, right?
Right.
You want to hang out with your friends. You want to sleep in or watch cartoons or whatever. It's so simple when you're a kid, but I do hope that they remember, and I'm sure that they will. You've done a really good job of creating an experience. And then finally, if someone had one day to explore Butler County during History Week, and this is a hard one, Amy, because I already asked you this question before, but it's a little different during History Week. What stops would create the perfect itinerary that tells the story of this county? So from Harmony to Saxonburg to the industrial heritage that helped shape America. So if you were like, hey, start in Harrisville and just if you were like road trip, here's your map.
Right,
Here's your
right.
Chip-Chick. Remember those?
Right,
Remember
exactly.
the Chip-Chicks before we had these guys?
I think you need to see, yes, from one point to the next. I think to start on one end or the other and kind of experience everything through it. You're going to see the diversity of the landscape. Certainly, even the history of Moraine State Park, the sites on Route 8 and 422, the major thoroughfares are going to weave you through the whole county. And I assure you there'll be something to see along the way and really get a feel for all of Butler County, not just downtown or one certain area or one small town. You get to take it all in, and you'll see the people are the same. They're really wonderful in this county. So,
Yeah, they really are. Well, thank you so much for your time. This is exciting.
it's my pleasure.
Load the family up in we had one of those old Wagoneers, the wood panel. Load the family up in there and just drive around on a weekday evening after work, or take the day or take the Saturday. Obviously the 4th is going to be really busy.
Right.
And remember, we're going past the 4th, right? We're continuing this.
Right, and that's why we really wanted the whole week of the 4th. There's so much on the 3rd and the 4th that we wanted people to be able to experience things. If they have Monday off or they have Tuesday or Wednesday off, they can get out and see some sights. So that there's something, and it's handy for whoever is showing what they're showing to be able to show it on a day that they know they're not competing with something else large that they may not be seeing.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time. This
my
is
pleasure. Thank
this
you.
is a beautiful garage. I don't know if I've ever said that before. It's a beautiful garage, but I think I might get a shot of me in that car. I think I gotta get a shot of me in my new car. I'm just kidding. But I've gotta get it for the social media. So
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank
and
you.
You'll see me out and about.
All righty.
And my
Thank
pin.
you.
I got my
And
pin
your
on.
new Jeep pin.
I got my
That's
new
right.
Jeep pin. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank
This
you.
is great.
My thanks to Amy Pack from Experience Butler County for joining me on this journey through Harmony and beyond. What struck me most about today's conversation is that tourism isn't really about destinations. It's about connection. It's about the stories we preserve, the traditions we share, and the experiences that invite people to become part of a community, even if only for a day. So from the historic streets of Harmony to the beloved traditions of Jeep Fest and the vehicles that continue to roll through our parades and celebrations, Butler County's story is one of pride, preservation, and people. This has been another installment in our America 250 series, highlighting the places, people, and stories that continue to shape our county and our country. Thank you for tuning in to Alter Eagle. Join me every Wednesday for a new episode, and be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Alter Eagle Podcast. Until next time, stay safe, stay hopeful, stay kind.